Hey, Kinsey, and welcome back to Remember What the Lord Has Done. Today, Leviticus 5, 6, and 7. Last time we were looking at the guilt offering, I think the burnt offering, the grain offering. Looked at a lot of, and I think the sin offering as well. Today, we're going to be switching it up by looking at the guilt offering, the burnt offering, the grain offering, the sin offering, and the fellowship offering. So one of those is additional that we didn't talk about yesterday. So we'll look at that, and we'll also look at the priest's share. We'll talk really briefly about fellowship. Really important. So we'll look at that again, Leviticus 5, 6, and 7. So, chapter 5. If a person sins because he does not speak up when he hears a public charge to testify regarding something he has seen or learned about, he will be held responsible. Or if a person touches anything ceremonially unclean, whether the carcass of an unclean wild animal or of unclean livestock, or of unclean creatures that move along the ground, even though he's unaware of it, he has become unclean and is guilty. Or if he touches human uncleanliness, anything that would make him unclean, even though he's unaware of it, when he learns of it, he will be guilty. Or if a person thoughtlessly takes an oath to do anything, whether good or evil, in any matter one might carelessly swear about, even though he is unaware of it. In any case, when he learns of it, he will be guilty. When anyone is guilty of any of these ways, he must confess in the way that he has sinned, and, as a penalty for the sin he has committed, he must bring to the Lord a female lamb or goat from the flock as a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement for him for his sin. If he cannot afford a lamb, he is to bring 2 doves or 2 young pigeons to the Lord as a penalty for his sin, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. He is to bring them to the priest, who shall first offer the one for the sin offering. He is to wring its head from its neck, not severing it completely, and is to sprinkle some of the blood of the sin offering against the side of the altar. The rest of the blood must be drained out at the base of the altar. It is a sin offering. The priest shall then offer the other as a burnt offering in the prescribed way, and make atonement for him for the sin he has committed, and he will be forgiven. If, however, he cannot afford 2 doves or 2 young pigeons, he is to bring as an offering for his sin a tenth of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He must not pour oil or incense on it, because it is a sin offering. He is to bring it to the priest, who shall take a handful of it as a memorial portion and burn it on the altar on top of the offerings made to the Lord by fire. It is a sin offering. In this way, the priest shall make atonement for him for any of these sins he has committed, and he will be forgiven. The rest of the offering will belong to the priest, as in the case of the grain offering. The Lord said to Moses, when a person commits a violation and sins unintentionally in regard to any of the Lord's holy things, he is to bring to the Lord as a penalty a ram from the flock, one without defect, and of the proper value in silver, according to the sanctuary shekel. It is a guilt offering. He must make restitution for what he has failed to do in regard to the holy things, add a fifth to the value to that, and give it to the priest, who will make atonement for him with the ram as a guilt offering, and he will be forgiven. If a person sins and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, even though he does not know it, he is guilty and will be held responsible. He is to bring it to the priest as a guilt offering, a ram from the flock, one without defect and of the proper value. In this way, the priest will make atonement for him for the wrong he has committed unintentionally, and he will be forgiven. It is a guilt offering. He has been guilty of wrongdoing against the Lord. Chapter 6. The Lord said to Moses, if anyone sins and is unfaithful to the Lord by deceiving his neighbor about something entrusted to him, or left in his care, or stolen, or if he cheats him, or if he finds any lost property and lies about it, or if he answers falsely, or if he commits any such sin that people may do, when he thus sins and becomes guilty, he must return what he has stolen or taken by extortion, or what was entrusted to him, or the lost property he found, or whatever it was that he swore falsely about. He must make restitution in full, add a fifth to the value of it, and give it all to the owner on the day he presents his guilt offering. And as a penalty, he must bring to the priest, that is, to the Lord, his guilt offering, a ram from the flock, one without defect, and offer the proper value. And of the proper value. In this way, the priest will make atonement for him before the Lord, and he will be forgiven for any of these things that he did that made him guilty. The Lord said to Moses, give Aaron and his sons this command. These are the regulations for the burnt offering. The burnt offering is to remain on the altar hearth throughout the night till morning, and the fire must be kept burning on the altar. The priest shall then put on his linen clothes with linen undergarments next to his body, and shall remove the ashes of the burnt offering that the fire is consumed on the altar, and place them beside the altar. Then he is to take off these clothes and put on others, and carry the ashes outside the camp to a place that is ceremonially clean. The fire on the altar must be kept burning. It must not go out. Every morning the priest is to add firewood and arrange a burnt offering on the fire and burn the fat of the fellowship offerings on it. The fire must be kept burning on the altar continuously. It must not go out. These are the regulations for the grain offering. Aaron's sons are to bring it before the Lord in front of the altar. The priest is to take a handful of fine flour and oil, together with the incense on the grain offering, and burn the memorial portion on the altar as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Aaron and his sons shall eat the rest of it, but it is to be eaten without yeast in a holy place. They are to eat it in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. It must not be baked with yeast. I've given it as their share of the offerings made to me by fire. Like the sin offering and the guilt offering, it is most holy. Any male descendant of Aaron may eat it. It is his regular share, the offerings made to the Lord by fire for the generations to come. Whatever touches them will become holy. The Lord said to Moses, This is the offering Aaron and his sons are to bring to the Lord on the day that he is anointed, a tenth of an ephah of fine flour, as a regular grain offering, half of it in the morning and half in the evening. Prepare it with oil on a griddle, bring it well mixed, and present the grain offering broken in pieces, as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. The son who is to succeed him as an anointed priest shall prepare it. It is the Lord's regular share, and it is to be burned completely. Every grain offering of a priest shall be burned completely. It must not be eaten. The Lord said to Moses, Say to Aaron and to his sons, These are the regulations for the sin offering. The sin offering is to be slaughtered before the Lord in the place the burnt offering is slaughtered. It is most holy. The priest who offers it shall eat it. It is to be eaten in a holy place in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches any of the flesh will become holy, and if any of the blood is spattered on a garment, you must wash it in a holy place. The clay pot that the meat is cooked in must be broken, but if it is cooked in a bronze pot, the pot is to be scoured and rinsed with water. Any male in a priest's family may eat it. It is most holy. But any sin offering whose blood is brought into the tent of meeting to make atonement in the holy place must not be eaten. It must be burned. Chapter 7. These are the regulations for the guilt offering, which is most holy. The guilt offering is to be slaughtered in the place where the burnt offering is slaughtered, and its blood is to be sprinkled against the altar on all sides. All its fat shall be offered, the fat tail and the fat that covers the inner parts, both kidneys with the fat on them near the loins, and the covering of the liver, which is to be removed with the kidneys. The priest shall burn them on the altar as an offering made to the Lord by fire. It is a guilt offering. Any male in the priest's family may eat it, but it must be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. The same law applies to both the sin offering and the guilt offering. They belong to the priest who makes atonement with them. The priest who offers a burnt offering for anyone may keep its hide for himself. Every grain offering baked in an oven or cooked in a pan or in a griddle belongs to the priest who offers it. And every grain offering, whether mixed with oil or dry, belongs equally to all the sons of Aaron. These are the regulations for the fellowship offering. A person may present to the Lord. If he offers it with an expression of thankfulness, then along with his thank offering, he is to offer cakes of bread made without yeast and mixed with oil, wafers made without yeast and spread with oil, and cakes of fine flour well kneaded and mixed with oil. Along with his fellowship offering of thanksgiving, he is to present an offering with cakes of bread made with yeast. He is to bring one of each kind as an offering, a contribution to the Lord, which belongs to the priest who sprinkles the blood of the fellowship offerings. The meat of his fellowship offering of thanksgiving must be eaten on the day that it is offered. He must leave none of it till morning. If, however, his offering is the result of a vow or of a free will offering, the sacrifice shall be eaten on the day he offers it. But anything left over may be eaten on the next day. Any meat of the sacrifice left over till the third day must be burned up. If any meat of the fellowship offering is eaten on the third day, it will not be accepted. It will not be credited to the person who offered it, for it is impure. The person who eats any of it will be held responsible. Meat that touches anything ceremonially unclean must not be eaten. It must be burned up. As for the other meat, anyone ceremonially clean may eat it, but if anyone who is unclean eats any of the meat of the fellowship offering belonging to the Lord, that person must be cut off from the people. If anyone touches something unclean, whether human uncleanliness or an unclean animal, or any unclean detestable thing, and then eats any of the meat of the fellowship offering belonging to the Lord, that person must be cut off from his people. The Lord said to Moses, Say to the Israelites, Do not eat any of the fat of cattle, sheep, or goats. The fat of an animal found dead or torn by wild animals may be used for any other purpose, but you must not eat it. Anyone who eats the fat of an animal, from which an offering by fire may be made to the Lord, must be cut off from his people. And wherever you live, you must not eat the blood of any bird or animal. If anyone eats the blood, that person must be cut off from his people. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, anyone who brings a fellowship offering to the Lord is to bring part of it as his sacrifice to the Lord. With his own hands he is to bring the offering made to the Lord by fire. He is to bring the fat together with the breast and to wave the breast before the Lord as a wave offering. The priest shall burn the fat on the altar, but the breast belongs to Aaron and his sons. You are to give the right thigh of your fellowship offerings to the priest as a contribution. The son of Aaron who offers the blood and the fat of the fellowship offering shall have the right thigh as his share. From the fellowship offering of the Israelites I have taken the breast that is waved and the thigh that is presented, and have given them to Aaron the priest and his sons as their regular share from the Israelites. This is the portion of the offerings made to the Lord by fire that were allotted to Aaron and his sons on the day they were presented to serve the Lord as priests. On the day they were anointed, the Lord commanded that the Israelites give this to them as their regular share for the generations to come. These, then, are the regulations for the burnt offering, the grain offering, the sin offering, the guilt offering, the ordination offering, and the fellowship offering, which the Lord gave Moses on Mount Sinai on the day he commanded the Israelites to bring their offerings to the Lord in the desert of Sinai. So again, a lot of that seems so regulated and so repetitive to us, and yet I think it's important for us to recognize that they must have felt inundated with these sacrifices. These sacrifices just seem to be happening continuously, and there's so much blood and sacrifice. I think that sets up us really well in the New Testament to understand the depth of our human depravity, how badly we need God, and how badly we need one another too. I mean, this year is talking about the fellowship offering, and that obviously got me thinking about fellowship and how important that is. And maybe that doesn't mean that you have tons of friends and people everywhere that you connect with. And I think that can be good and can be used for ministry, but having a couple people that you regularly fellowship with, a couple people that you are really close to and you can talk about God with, that you can talk about the Bible, that you can talk about your faith, so incredibly important. Your mom was talking about how it's gotten so much easier dropping you off now for daycare, because now, as opposed to before, you like going in, you like seeing the people there, so you've been enjoying your time, and it seems like you kind of look forward to it. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what your mom was saying, that it's become something that you enjoy, is that fellowship. There was one other cool thing. We went to a hockey game tonight, and yeah, your mom had we just thought it was funny, something you were doing at the game.
Well, there was a lot of things you were doing.
Well,
and yeah, it was the game started probably about 30 minutes after your bedtime.
Yeah.
So it was a long night.
Yeah.
But you were kind of just spinning around in my arms because you were restless, and then you finally just kind of gave up and just lay down on me. But then there were moments too where you kind of got a second wind, and you were sitting with your dad, and you were going, pointing, and then you were clapping with them, and yeah, it was
so
cool.
Cute.
Hopefully, I hope that you'll be athletic and be into sports, but it seems like even from this young age, when we go to volleyball games, when we go to these hockey games, that you're really into sports.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's super cool to watch. It's funny to watch how well that you track too. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, just how well you were kind of tracking all the players, not necessarily the puck, right? That's really small and it moves really quick, but you were just following all the players. And you'd look at me and you look at your mom. It was super cute. It was awesome. Worth praying about. You want to pray? You want me to pray? All right. Lord, I thank you so much for Kinsey, and God, I thank you that she draws people to her, Lord. People are drawn to her energy, her positivity, God. I pray that you allow that to continue, God. But with that, Lord, I pray that she has friends that she draws close to and speaks to them about you, speaks to them about her faith, speaks to them about your word. God, may she have good, strong fellowship with others, Lord, that she may mutually encourage them to get closer to you, and that she may be encouraged as well. God, we thank you so much that we can have fellowship with you because of your son, Jesus. It's in his name we pray. Amen. Well, Kinsey, we love you tons. We appreciate you. We will plan on seeing you tomorrow. Have a good one.